Hi, this is Barb, and I'm here with my friend Aiden, and we are going to talk about a little bit about acupuncture and a little bit about ways to be healthy during this time that we're in of the coronavirus um, situation in America. So I'm Barb, and Aiden, it's so good to see you.
It's amazing to see you and your radiant face.
Been a long time since I've seen you in real life or in person
Yeah,
or seen you.
too long.
Too long. So you are in California.
I am.
I'm in Massachusetts, and I used to see you for acupuncture, and
Indeed.
I had amazing results and experience with you. And to this day, I still say you are a healer, and it was really special experiences. My daughters both were exposed to it as well, and it was excellent. So
Thank
A
you, Barb.
plus. I will always recommend you. You're fantastic.
You're the best, and you magnificently helped us sell our home when we left Newburyport. And I have to say that my partner still says that it was the most painless and positive real estate transaction that he has ever had. So
Oh,
that is
thank
a testament
you.
to you, my
Well, you
friend.
guys left town, so I just did it all for you.
It was amazing.
Thank you so much. It was great for me too. So, I would love to hear a little bit about how you have been working, if you have been working during this pandemic, and anything you want to share about your business.
Sure. So I have a practice in Costa Mesa called Heart Centered Transformational Wellness. And since the pandemic has started, I've pivoted and offered some virtual services that I didn't offer before. And so some things that I'm doing in that realm that are really exciting to me are I've offered free Zoom meditation and mindfulness sessions for workers on the front lines of the pandemic. So the nurses, doctors, and other healthcare workers who are experiencing or have experienced high levels of stress and anxiety, and they're always the ones that are taking care of everybody else, but who's like taking care of them. So my sister is a nurse, and I just felt really called to do that. And so it's been amazing. The sessions are about 40 minutes. They call in, and there's a group of us, and we go through some basics of meditation and some breath awareness practices that they can use on the spot while they're at work. And then we also have used some acupuncture points and essential oils to begin to work with some of the challenging emotions that they have been experiencing and shared with me, such as like frustration, irritation, lots of worry, and stuff like that. So it's been really, really powerful. I love it. And
That's
then
awesome.
as far as my uh, office and my practice goes there, I am seeing people on a much reduced basis, but still seeing them. I screen every person before they come into my office, and I sanitize before and after they leave. I wear a mask while they're in the office. And it's been going really well, actually, and things are actually starting to pick up because I think people are ready to get back to their lives.
That's interesting. Do you feel like the people who are coming in for acupuncture services, I know my experience, I didn't have a situation of pain. I just came in for wellness and to try it, and I loved it, so I kept going. Do you think that people who are seeking acupuncture now are doing it from a pain perspective or a wellness perspective?
I think kind of a mixture of both, but a great example of why I feel really called to continue to help people and serve people through this time is one of my patients is a woman who has been battling with cancer, and she went through chemotherapy, and the cancer was still there, much reduced, but still there. So she was trying this alternative treatment that ended up really putting a toll on her kidney function, and her blood pressure just was skyrocketing, and she hadn't gotten it under 160 over 80 even with going to the doctor. And after our session, so she contacted me and said she really needed to come in. And after our session, her blood pressure was 117 over 80. So to be able to like help somebody like that it's really meaningful.
Was that a blood pressure taken right after the treatment or like days after the treatment?
When she went home, she took her blood pressure and reported back that that
Nice.
was. Yep.
That's so great. Um, you were telling me that you have some sort of empowerment or recommendations for ways to kind of be healthy and ensure our own health. Is there anything else you want to say about acupuncture before we talk about those things?
No, I mean, I feel like really the largest part of what I do with people when they come in to see me is really talk about all the things that I'm going to mention right now and really help people transform their lives from the ground up and realize that it's the things that we do on a daily basis that determine the state of our health. And so there are, things that we can do and habits that we can begin to develop that will move us out of disease or imbalance into health. And acupuncture can be used as a tool to assist with that process. But if you're continuing to, engage in behaviors that are not serving your health, as much acupuncture in the world is not gonna help you in the long run, right? It'll just be a temporary fix. So really, I want people to realize and know that we have so much power when it comes to our bodies and when it comes to our health. And it's really the choices that we make on a daily basis that add up over time and create the state of health that we find ourselves in. And so there's some really simple things that we can begin to do to really take back control of our own lives and our own sense of wellness, right? And those are like sleep. Sleep is like essential for immune system health, for so many things, right? And so making sure that we get enough sleep is super important. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night is the recommendation, and people struggle with that, right? Like there's people who can't fall asleep, or there's people who can't stay asleep. So then it's about like making recommendations for them to assist them in that. So if you're somebody who has a hard time falling asleep, some helpful things that you can consider are taking a hot shower or bath right before you go to bed. Make sure that you keep your electronics out of your bedroom, because the light that it's emitted from your electronics actually disrupts your body's natural circadian rhythm. And that blue light inhibits the production of melatonin. And melatonin is the hormone that actually allows us to fall asleep. So that's also why people who have a hard time falling asleep could consider taking melatonin as well. And then just making sure that your sleep environment is very dark and that there's no light is something that could be helpful for falling asleep. Learning how to do certain breathing techniques or, short meditation before you go to bed can sometimes calm your mind and allow you to fall asleep easier. And then to stay asleep, the hormone GABA is what's involved with us being able to stay asleep. And so there are some herbs that people can take that can help support that if they're having a problem or trouble staying asleep. And those are things like valerian, things like ashwagandha, passion flower, and then also melissa, which is in the mint family. And then also for staying asleep, I think that essential oils can sometimes be really helpful too. So I'll often recommend that people put some oils on a point on the bottom of their foot called kidney one. And some oils that can be really good for that are like vetiver. And then also, lavender. Lavender is like the most researched oil for sleep. And it's pretty helpful and amazing.
You know what? I just randomly got invited to a Facebook group of somebody selling doTERRA.
Yeah.
And I remember in your office, you often would have on your diffuser, maybe it was On Guard or bergamot. I don't know. Which one did you mostly have in your office, or did you switch it up?
I think I would diffuse bergamot on its own, but then I like to make a blend of like peppermint, bergamot, and oils like that. Sometimes it can be really uplifting and clarifying. But, if it was probably, in the winter, I was diffusing the On Guard because that's really good for killing bacteria and pathogens and stuff like that.
Well, I ended up getting in this group, and anytime I see doTERRA, I think of you and going into your old office space when you were in Massachusetts. And then when you moved, I bought your diffuser from you,
That's
right?
right.
So I have
You
your really cool diffuser that I don't think they sell that brand or that style anymore.
Mm.
Because even the doTERRA lady said, I've never heard of that, that
Oh,
kind.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so I feel like I have this really special diffuser.
cool.
Um, and anyway, so I just got a case of 11 different essential oils, and I have no idea what to use them for, but I'll tap into you later about that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's really cool because you can pair the oils with specific acupuncture points to address a lot of different things from, emotional stuff to physiological stuff. So it's exciting.
Can you share one? Are you willing to share one emotional thing that you can do with essential oils?
Sure. Which emotion are you most interested in right now? Or is
Oh,
coming?
every emotion. But why don't we say, I don't know, what's a common one?
Why don't we say fear?
Okay, that's a good one.
Because
All
there
right.
seems to be a lot of that going on collectively. Um, and so the oil that I would recommend for fear is called black spruce. And it really is amazing because in Chinese medicine, the organ that's associated with the emotion of fear is the kidneys. And black spruce definitely works with and has an affinity for the kidneys. But what it's going to do is, so there's a point on your ankle between your inner ankle bone and your Achilles tendon, right in between that spot. It's called kidney 3. You can look it up, Google kidney 3 acupuncture point, and find it very easily. And
Okay.
then what you'll do is you'll take a little bit of black spruce essential oil on each fingertip and then sit cross-legged in a butterfly position. And then very lightly touch that point. When we're dealing with mental emotional issues, we want to use really light pressure. And then you just close your eyes and you tune in to your body and you locate like where the fear is in your body, because really emotions, they're just energy. They are actually physiological substance, like energy that has become stuck inside of our body. And so when we access them, are present with them, bring acceptance and spaciousness to them, just naturally on their own with our breath, and this, the oil and the pressure on that point definitely
Oops.
helps facilitate the release, but it just helps to move that energy. It just naturally on its own will transform into something else. And I can't tell you what
Wow.
that'll be because it's different for everybody else, for everybody, I mean. But it's really powerful. You can feel the transformation in your body immediately
That's
after doing
wild. Do you ever in your Zoom sessions with people, like if you saw a client over Zoom and we're doing some sort of a consultation like that, would you ever do things like that that would be guided?
Oh, absolutely. So I've already done that with someone from Massachusetts, actually.
Okay. Oop,
And
don't say anything.
it's really powerful because, I still can do a lot of diagnostics even through, Zoom call, because in Chinese medicine, we have many ways that we assess a person. One of them is through your tongue. So I can still look at your tongue and tell what's going on internally in your body, also through your face, the coloring, um, and then just through asking some questions, and then we can identify, okay, what do you specifically need? And then I come up with like a series of points that we go through and work on together, and I guide you.
Very nice. Wow. Um, let's do it. Let's do a time check for a second here. Okay. So what are some other things, Aiden, that we can do to empower our health?
So I'm just going to briefly touch on a few things, and then perhaps in another session I can dive deeper into them with you for the sake of time. But making sure that we move our bodies every day. So exercise is essential. Moderate exercise, 30 minutes a day, 7 days a week, is what the research says is actually the most effective and beneficial for our health. And then in addition to that, making sure that we get adequate nutrition. So our fruits and vegetables, now that we are staying at home, it can be a little bit easier sometimes to plan our meals and prepare them. And so just making sure that we try and hit that 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. And then in addition to that, just stress reduction techniques like meditation, yoga, other mindfulness practices.
Mm-hmm.
Those are just sort of a few things that can really support your health.
I've seen a lot of online meditation or yoga or exercise classes that are being offered free through a lot of people, like globally.
So I have to say, actually, just a shout out to my friend Laura Washington, who is a yoga instructor and naturopathic doctor in Portland, Oregon. One of the amazing things about this pandemic has been that, people have been offering virtual yoga sessions. And so she's always been my favorite yoga teacher ever. And I've been able to take her classes on Zoom, and she charges like $5 for a class, which is like ridiculously low, and it feels like exactly like if you were in her class. So check her out, Luminance, and it's in Portland, Oregon.
Do you know how to spell it?
Luminance. Oh, that's a good question.
Is it like lumen
Like you're
e
luminant, like light, like luminant.
okay, luminance. Okay. And she's in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
Is that on a website or Instagram or Facebook?
So yeah, if you look up Luminance in Portland, Oregon, it'll be a website, and you can sign up directly for a yoga class through the website.
Okay.
So
Should I mention the person in New York whose one yoga class I took?
absolutely, if you loved it, do it.
It was good. A friend, Nicole, recommended, and it was through Instagram. And the Zoom codes are given on Instagram, but her handle is Jana in yoga, YANA in yoga. And she's in Manhattan, and she does it at 5 o'clock during the week and at 12 noon on the weekends. And I want to do more.
That's awesome. I mean, how amazing that we have the opportunity to connect with people, that are all over, not only the country, but the world.
Right.
Right. And we have access to these amazing resources. So my encouragement is to take advantage of it,
Yes,
while you have more
definitely.
space and time in your life. And even if you don't, make some for it.
Very good advice. All right. Thank you so much, Aiden, for your time and your thoughts and your love. Any final words?
No, I mean, I love talking about this stuff, and I'm always here to support anybody who is interested in, taking control of their own health and learning how to begin to learn, the habits that will support that for them.
So, in saying that, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to find you?
You can find me through my website, which is www.heartcenteracu.com, or through Instagram at heartcenteracu. or on Facebook at Heart Centered Transformational Wellness.
Okay, awesome. All right, I will stop the recording. Thank you.